let's go across the locker room in Los Angeles to the Lakers and the OKC series, K-Dub. Why don't you do this? Hold up. Why don't you do this? First thing I want to ask you is how many games, because if you like me, you see OKC coming out of this one. I think you're going to agree with me on this one. So, first question I have is how many games? The second question I have is what is it going to be like the first time Meta World Peace matches up with James Harden?
That was last night.
I know it was last night. I know it was last night. Okay.
Really, to tell you the truth, if you watch the game, James Harden was locked in.
Okay.
You know.
Well, I didn't watch the game. I didn't watch the game.
He was aggressive, as well as the whole Oklahoma City team. Even though you would say that the Lakers have a better big man combination, that they looked out of place. They looked out of sort. You know, you had Kobe Bryant really not being that aggressive in the first quarter, and it just, to be honest with you, it looked like Oklahoma City wanted it more, and they were more enthused. They were running up and down the court. I mean, to be honest with you, put it in layman's terms, they got in their ass last night.
Now I know my team here is reminding me that the game was last night, which I was aware. I misspoke, but my question is I didn't watch the game. But I need to know what the ovation, for lack of a better term, and I'm being facetious here, for Meta World Peace was like when he stepped in on the court for the very first time.
He booed.
Typical bad man. Bad man. The crowd booed him. You know, but let's be honest. Is that the first time that Ron Artest / Meta World Peace has gotten booed and the crowd has been against them?
Of course not.
We do remember the incident that happened in the Palace and all of the other incidents that has happened with him during his career. That isn't anything that would deter him, because at the end of the day, there's only 10 people on the court. You know, the crowd has no bearing on whether or not he can come out and play well. And once again, going back to that matchup, if you watched the game last night, James Harden was focused. I mean, he was. It wasn't a whole bunch of rah-rah banging on the chest. He was just focused. He went out there with the mission. And if you looked at the comparison between him and Ron Artest when they were matched up, because they were matched up a few times, there was a little, jostling or what have you. But it seemed as though that jostling and the extracurricular activity was something that Meta World Peace was going out there trying to initiate, whereas James Harden was going out there trying to win the game.
I don't know, but that one of those fouls, though, it looked like it was on James Harden, and they called on Meta World just to be calling on him. And to all respect, James Harden was backing up. And next thing I know, I see Meta World Peace just backing up and letting the man fall down, and he's falling on top of him. And they call a foul on Meta World Peace. I mean, are the refs going to be against the man during this whole series? What?
Nah, that's just referee stuff.
What you'll see is that the referees are definitely going to key into that particular matchup, knowing the history, as well as anyone that may be matched up against Meta World Peace, understanding the matchup. And to be honest with you, these two teams basically at this particular point have a dislike for each other. More so Oklahoma City toward LA. I mean, if you're a young team and you're looking to try to win that chip, you want to go after the baddest man on the block to state your claim. And that game last night was a perfect example of that. I think the referees will be keying in on a lot of the physicality of that series.
Now, the Lakers got the brakes beat off them last night. There's just no way around that, and that's cool. Everybody's talking about how Kobe wasn't aggressive and stuff like that. It is what it is.
But Kobe said they can guard him.
But look, man, Game 1 was more about feeling out the opponent than anything else. Game 2, there is no way that Oklahoma City is going to shoot 58% from the floor again on a bunch of jump shots. It's not going to happen. That's insane that they shot so high, number one. And then number 2, Perkins may not even play in Game 2. So who do you put? You put Collison down there? If Collison starts...
The thing. Perkins, he didn't really, from my understanding and watching the game, Perkins didn't really have that much of a footprint on the game, and they still won by, I believe it was 27.
Well, but the thing about it is Perkins is 6'10", 280 pounds. Man, you don't have to put a stat mark in the game. He just big. And when you're big, that's less space in the paint. Now, as far as what's going to happen is Mike Brown has been really good in the postseason. See what happened. See what didn't work. Let's fix it up and come back to the next game and do some work. They will solve some issues. The Lakers will steal game 2. It's going to be close, maybe by 2 or 3 points, by some foul shots. The game's going 6. To be honest with you, I have to go with the Thunder because I don't think the Lakers have it in them. However, if this game goes to a game 7, I don't care. It's going to be in Oklahoma City. That is not a place where Oklahoma City wants to be because the Lakers are deadly in game 7s. So they hope they can clear it up in 6. But if they go 7, I don't think the Thunder can do it.
Well, it's not going to go 7.
It's
so
not going to go 7.
Let's get that out the way.
Yeah.
In regards to Oklahoma City, Kendrick Perkins may not play, but you have Collison. You also have Nazi Muhammad. You also have, you also have Serge Ibaka. These particular players are individuals that were playing during the season, and they were getting major minutes. So, granted, you may not have Kendrick Perkins, but you do have formidable individuals that can go out there and steal some minutes, get some rebounds, and just be a big body. Last night the Lakers shot 39% in the paint. And you have basically you have 2 of the better big men in the league with Bynum, who may be the number 1 or arguably the number 2 best center in the league, and you have Pau Gasol, who's one of the more skilled power forwards in the league. The Lakers actually went to a zone last night. That's
yes,
the first
they did.
time I've ever seen the LA Lakers ever play a zone.
It was completely desperate at that point.
Hey, Dub, I want to move on from this series because we kind of stressed for time a little bit. We still got 2 other series to get to and a couple of the postseason awards that I want to ask you about. So does Philly have a chance against Boston? I don't think they do. I know the series is tied right now, but I do see this series kind of wrapping up 5, maybe 6 games. I don't think Philly's going to keep up with the experience that Boston has. KG is playing like a wild man right now, and Paul Pierce is probably, next to Kobe, one of the most dangerous late game players in the league right now. What are your thoughts?
Right now, I would say that, you know what? It's a toss-up right now for Game 3. Right now, the first game of the season was won by the Celtics, and second game being won last night by the Sixers, by the skin of their teeth. To be honest with you, if you think about the call at the end of the game with the offensive foul, if you let that go, you really don't know. It could be a 2-0 series. Drew Holiday had 18 points and Andre Iguodala only having 13, and they only won by 1 point. Them going to Philadelphia is an advantage to them being the home team, as well as hopefully Elton Brand can get over the neck injury the neck spasms that he's been suffering from and possibly have a better game. To be honest with you, I think that the key to the game, the key to the series is how Rajon Rondo controls the game for the Celtics. I mean, he sets the table. He sets the table to make sure everybody gets their shots. You have Ray Allen just being Ray Allen. You have Paul Pierce, who's one of the better perimeter players in the league. It's a toss-up, but I think I would go with you saying that the Celtics are the better team, and they will win that particular series. It's just unbelievable that the Sixers won, and Andre Iguodala, who's one of their better players, only had 13 points.
Right. What do you think about the way? What do you think about the way KG is playing, starting with the last game of the Atlanta series, all the way up to the first 2 games of this series?
He went straight Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the easiest way. That's the easiest way to explain it.
He's got that hunger
one
back.
Of the few players in the league that basically gets himself going. A lot of people are always talking about how he's always yelling and cursing and so on and so forth. But that's basically to get himself going. And I think that by the Atlanta management trying to call him out, basically lit that fire up under him. and that got him going, and he's still riding that high. Also, one thing that's getting KG going, one thing, when he played in Minnesota, he played the small forward position. The last few years, he's played the power forward position. Now he's playing the center position. And in all three of those positions, he's always been a matchup problem for the opposing team.
Because of his size.
He's playing outstanding right now.
Now, this is another game that if it goes 7, the home team's not really under advantage. You got basically a bunch of kids out here playing hard basketball. They believe it. They beat the Bulls. And, to be honest with you, without a Ray Allen sighting in the near future, I'm not sure that Boston can win it. If this goes 7, I'm going for the upset, honestly, because at this point in time, Boston has showed me nothing. We might have to see another Willis Reed come back in order for Boston to even have a chance. I mean, 2008, Willis Reed come back. We may need that for Boston to win. I think for them to lose one at home really, really, really messes them up. It's hard to win in Philly.
Yeah,
this time.
I'm not really.
You're not drinking the juice?
I'm not drinking the Philly juice. I mean, I watched them. They let a mediocre New York Knicks team catch them in the standings in the regular season. We know it's a new season going into the playoffs, but I haven't seen anything from Philadelphia since they played against Chicago, and now these first 2 games that has me drinking that Philly juice. They played basically a wounded Chicago team, and now they're playing a Boston team at full strength, less, of course, Ray Allen. I'm not seeing it.